now I want to talk about Celeste Rivas. This case, this again another awful case, but for different reasons. Because Celeste has been found. That's how this case started, wasn't it? When this poor girl's body, I think she just turned 14 when she was found, though it's not thought she actually lived to see her 14th birthday. It's not thought that she was alive when she turned 14. Just reminding people, I'm not very well this morning. I'm poorly sick, so sorry if I'm sniffing and coughing and got some sort of a cold. Anyway, so of course the person who has allegedly done this to this poor girl is this talentless pseudo-intellectual prat. I've got this simmering anger against David because he's just such an idiot. Not only evil, he's evil, but you know, these are the sort of pictures he was posting on his Instagram, and he was writing lyrics, romantic homicide, and you know, he's virtually a killer in plain sight. He's that he's got that much belief in his own omnipotence and how bloody clever he is. You know, he just you know, I'm speechless. So here's a couple more pictures of David. David is only 20. Well, I think he's 21 now, but he's still quite a lot older than Celeste was. And he groomed her apparently from when she was 11 years old. 11. He groomed this girl. Oh, let me just turn that. That's going to come on. He groomed because he likes little girls, obviously. And men like David, they like little girls because little girls think they're bloody brilliant. You know, a woman would not be taken in by this idiot, pretentious idiot. You know, there's the three looks of David. You've got the Harry Styles look in his grandma's blouse. You've got the mugshot in the middle. That's the real David. And then, of course, you've got the sideshow Bob. I'm an evil piece of shit, but it's only because it helps sell my records look. So apparently, so it's all starting off, isn't it? The trial and everything, the preliminary hearings. The evidence is starting to come out. There's overwhelming evidence against this guy. We can see now why it's taken law enforcement so long to press charges. We were all getting frustrated, weren't we? And you know, like, why has David not been arrested? Blah, de, blah, de, blah. But it seems like they wanted to do it right. And when they finally arrested him and charged him, let's hope they've got it all right. It's certainly all the evidence that's coming out. Now, I just wanted to show you, I've got a picture somewhere of Celeste, a new picture that's been released by her family. Celeste, all her photos, except for if I was looking at some photos from when she was very young, and I mean very young, like 6 or something. But apart from that, she's never smiling properly. Oh, this is a photo that we've had for a while. What do you think of this? I was looking at this photo. It looks like a mugshot, this photo. Let me just show you. I think that's a strange photo. Now, she's never smiling or rarely smiling, Celeste, on any of her photos. I'm not sure how old she was there, but is it just me or that looks like a mugshot? Had she been in trouble with the police? I don't know, or maybe it was a school photo or something, I don't know. But again, she's not smiling. She rarely smiles on any of her photos. And when she is smiling, it's just like this Mona Lisa type smile, like very enigmatic, half smile. You know, rarely you see her with a full smile, you know, like most young girls her age. So you just think, why was Celeste such a serious girl? you know, so very, very serious. Now, there's been a picture released by her family, which I thought I downloaded, but I don't know if I can find it. Let me just see. I should name these files and then I might find it easier. Well, there it is. Yeah, let's try this. So yeah, this is a photo that's been released of Celeste when she was younger with the family. Again, I mean, she's smiling, but it's not exactly an unreserved smile, is it? You know, she never looks that happy, bless her. Anyway, I presume that's her dad, is it, behind her, and that's her mum on the left. But the family have released this photo of Celeste. New photo of Celeste. I think I'll leave that up for a little bit while I'm just talking about what I want to talk about. So I wrote a little list of just the things I wanted to say about Celeste that are coming out here. So, of course, it turns out that Celeste was killed by 2 penetrative wounds that we don't know what caused them, but my money's on the samurai sword. There's David quite often like posting videos of himself with either anime or real videos with samurai sword. I think that's probably exactly what he killed her with. About 2 stab wounds and left to bleed out. Just left to bleed out. You know, and everyone keeps saying that one of the wounds was to her liver, and it will have taken her quite a while to die. It's not like a gunshot to the head where somebody dies instantly. You know, so it just gets worse and worse, this case. Just when you think it can't get any worse, it gets worse. So it's thought that he just stood there and watched it happen. What a horrible, horrible man. And this is a girl. You know, he's like, he knew her, he'd been in a relationship with her, we think, since she was 11, 3 years. You know, so it wasn't some girl that he didn't know or never cared about, or I'm not saying that's right. I mean, that's still wrong, of course it is, but just seems worse when it's somebody you've been in a relationship with. So it's thought that she may have had abortions while she was with him. She was taking contraception, the morning after pill, and they argued because she complained that all they were doing was having sex all the time, and she wanted, and hanging out. She wanted more than that in her life. Imagine a 13-year-old having to say that to a grown man. I mean, you're just like, what? You know, a 13-year-old having to say to a grown man, look, I'm not happy with this relationship because all we're doing is having sex all the time and hanging out, and I want more for myself. For fuck's sake. Sorry, I always end up swearing when I'm talking about this case because I'm so angry with this man. So angry with him. He's horrible, horrible man. Also, another thing that's being said now that's possible, because originally on her forensic, you know, her autopsy report, where it was about pregnant, if she was pregnant, it said no. Apparently that's been changed now to unknown. That they can't tell if she was pregnant or not because of the state of decomposition. You know, it just gets worse, doesn't it? Just gets worse. And then, and the other thing that winds me up so much about this case is so pointless. It's so pointless because he didn't, you know, didn't achieve its objectives of David being able to finish off his tour in peace without this bloody 13-year-old that got too big for her boots, started getting jealous of him seeing other girls. Because you can bet you can bet your bottom dollar that there were other girls. He's a groomer, he's a PDF. And Celeste maybe was getting too old for him because maybe he likes 13-year-old girls or 11-year-old girls. And then as she was getting older and more womanly, and she was certainly starting to question their relationship. He didn't want her anymore, did he? Because he likes someone he can just control. Anyway, this is not like he took her all out, you know, traveling with him. As I say, met her family. I don't know if she met his family. I presume she did. Everybody knew that David was seeing Celeste. He wrote songs about her. You know, this wasn't just a one night stand type scenario. He had a long relationship with this girl, and he saw a lot of her, and he went traveling with her. He took her places. He was on streams with her. You know, this is not someone that he hardly knew. This is someone he knew intimately. And anyway, you know, she's just a child. You know, I'm saying, oh, he had a relationship with her, but technically you can't have a relationship with a child. It's RAPE, because she was under the age of consent. So it's not a relationship, really, is it? But you know, that's, I don't know what I just leaves you speechless. The whole thing. So the other thing, of course, is he had chainsaws. Apparently, cut up Celeste and in a paddling pool, supposedly to just, I don't know if he killed her in that, and then that was just to keep the blood up. Anyway, there were bits of this paddling pool in the, he ordered body bags, strong bags, all on Amazon. That's how clever this man is. He ordered them on Amazon. So there's a record of the chainsaws that he bought. Oh, but no, he was clever because he hid his name and he called himself Victoria Mendez instead of David Burke or whatever his stupid name is. How thick is he? How thick is he? Ordered them on Amazon. For fuck's sake, that is just, do you know what? It's insulting how thick he is. Did he think nobody? Oh, it's all right. I'm going to order it on Amazon, but I use a false name. No one will know. I'm not Victoria Mendez. Just where's his thought process? You know, listen. Even people of my generation, we've been brought up with Columbo. That was out the depth of forensics we knew about when I was growing up. Nowadays, everyone knows about CSI and bloody DNA and God knows what. Young people know about these things now. It's there in the public domain. You've just got to Google it. When I was young, Columbo was about as advanced as you got. But even I knew that. You know, you don't order things on Amazon that you're going to kill people and cut them up with, for God's sake. How thick is he? Literally breathtakingly thick. But in the meantime, he thinks he's really clever. So, of course, now, because he did so much online as well, you know, so much on his Twitter account and this, that, and the other. There's videos coming out of the woodwork now, videos that he did. People can look back and see all these weird videos that he did. And ones he did after Celeste died, you know, talking as if nothing, you know, literally a couple of days after this girl died, he's all exuberant talking about his tour on social media, etc. You know, the coldness, a girl that he'd been seeing, known for 2-3 years, travelled around the country with, been intimate with, and he's murdered her, cut her up, and he's just going on telly, like, you know, on live streams and things on social media, like nothing's happened. You know, she was just something had to be got rid of, you know. Didn't affect him at all. Anyway, I want to show you, take that picture off because it will cover up. I want to show you what a video that has come out of somebody apologizing for the smell in his home. So imagine that. So was the smell in his home because of Celeste? Let's see this video. It's on X. It's come out on X. It's been all over X. Because this is what people are doing now. They're digging up or any sort of weird video that he's ever done, or any clip that's come out about him. You know, people are digging into all that now, and they're finding things. So this David was, I can't call him D4VD because it's too fucking pretentious. David was seen apologising for a smell in his home 2 months after he allegedly murdered and dismembered Celeste Rivas Hernandez in that same house. Now, the thing is, I was looking at this girl here. I wonder if she's a bit I think everyone was probably a bit starstruck with David. You talk about a boy, a man, he's famous and he's on the brink of massive stardom, and he's going to attract young people in entourage, isn't he? Who are going to think he's brilliant. People like Celeste.
Oh wait, let me empty out my pills for me. Can you put this in the bag too? Unless you don't mind. I don't want to can you put...
Oh, his nails are in the bag.
You, bro. I'm looking at your packing, bro. Go f yourself. I don't even get paid, guys. I'm not even getting paid for this bullshit, bro. It is, bro. All y'all, dead ass.
Oh. Now, do we make up? Yeah.
ABC. Oh yeah, I apologize in advance for the way my bathroom smelled. I took a that's where I'm going.
I don't care, I just took it.
You know what? This is how young people talk, right, innit? Oh, look, he's shaking her hand because she's had an SHIT in his bathroom. So, in case you missed that, he said, oh, I would just like to apologise for the smell in my bathroom because I took an SHIT in there. So this silly girl, silly girl, says, oh, don't worry, I took an SHIT in there as well. Oh, for fuck's sake, is that the conversation young people have? Come on. Nobody wants to know if you've had an SHIT in there or not. It couldn't give a shit. But yeah, let's hear him say it again. So, I apologise for the way my bathroom smells. I took an SHIT. Do you really need to say that? And then she straight away jumps in and goes, oh yeah, don't apologise for it. I did that as well. And then he like gives her a high five or something. Fuck's sake. You know, that girl, do you know what? One day she'll probably get married and have kids, and she'll be famous as the girl who said to David, oh, don't worry, I had an SHIT as well.
I don't care, I just took it.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, yeah. Look at that guy's face. He's like, what the fuck? Yeah, at least the young guy, he was like,
Can you put this in the bag too?
bloody hell.
Unless you don't mind. Can you put...
Oh, his nails are in the bag.
You, bro. I'm looking at your packing, bro. Go f yourself. I don't even get paid, guys. I'm not even getting paid for this bullshit, bro. It is, bro. All y'all, dead ass.
Oh. Now, do we make up? Yeah.
ABC. Oh yeah, I apologize in advance for the way my bathroom that's where I'm going.
I don't care, I just...
God, that young lad, it's just like, oh. So, yeah, at least he looks more sensible. Let me just stop showing that. I don't want to do that again. But yeah, then there was some other things I wanted to show you on next. Sorry. Can you imagine all the videos that are coming out now about David? You know, because if people will be looking back through all these, you know, all these media output, social media output, and finding things. So apparently, the other thing that apparently he did was he went 3 times to Santa Barbara to dump Celeste belongings, and that's where her passport was found. And of course, he was seen on the license plate reader. You know, the police know that he went there. How did he think he would not? Let's have a look at this actually on it. Even if he thought he left his phone at home and he thought that he wouldn't be detected if he left his phone at home, but these license plate readers, they knew his car because they were selling it. It was registered in his name. I mean, how stupid is this guy? It's like he's gonna go down in history, not only for, I think this is gonna go down as one of the worst crimes ever. It's horrible, horrible. But also just one of the dumbest criminals ever. You know, how could you get any thicker than this guy? You know, he thought he'd covered his tracks, but he hadn't, had he? He literally had not. Anyway, let's have a look at this video. So it's just a video of the road where he travelled up. This is Steve Fisher on X. This is the video, you know, the road that he travelled along to dispose of Celeste's belongings 3 times. And SF Steve Fisher says, one may wonder how David could be so dumb to leave his cell phone on all 3 times he came out. So, you know, the cell phone was on and he came out 3 times to the SR 154 in Santa Barbara, the same road that Celeste's passport was found. Maybe he didn't bring the phone, but he didn't think about the license plate reader. So Steve just is showing a video travelling up that road. So this, and this is her gravesite. People have been laying flowers for her, bless her. You know, it's all over social media, isn't it? This Celeste case. People now are accusing Celeste. Oh, because of course it is funny about the family, about her family, because apparently they knew that she was seeing David, and they tried to stop her seeing David. They took her phone off her, and David then paid another student at her school $1,000 to give her a burner phone so that she could keep in contact with him. So that didn't work. Then some people are saying that David gave Celeste's dad hush money, but he's saying no, he never received any money from David. So, you know, you have to make of these things what you will. You know, was David, were the family, how aware were the family? You know, it seems to me it's not only the family. I think everybody knew about their relationship. His friends knew. You know, everybody knew he was seeing Celeste. It wasn't a secret relationship. That's what I'm trying to say. So that just means to me, how did nobody question, you know, for God's sake, how old is that girl? You know, she did look a little bit older maybe than she was. Later on, let's show a more up-to-date picture of her. She probably does not look 14. You know, maybe she does look 16, but I don't know what the age of consent is in Florida, but she doesn't look that old, does she? Oh, and apparently now as well, another thing that's coming out now is David had been told she was a minor, because he's saying, oh, I didn't know she was a minor. Well, he did, because he was under investigation for having a relationship with a minor. He was told by law enforcement she was a minor. So it's not true. Again, more lies that he thinks aren't going to come out. I think, you know what, I think David, he'll be like, God, you know, when all this evidence comes out, that his defence lawyer will be saying to him, oh, look, this has come out now. Oh, look, this has come out now. I think in the end, his defence lawyer is going to turn around to him and say, think you should plead guilty, because otherwise you're going to get the death penalty. So yeah, later pictures. Let's just look one more time at this younger picture of Celeste. And as I said, I'd be interested for anyone. Does anyone know this particular photo? Why does it just look like a mugshot to me? Had she been arrested for anything? Like, it seems like she was taking drugs. He'd introduced her to drugs, so wonder if it is a mugshot, or maybe not. Maybe just I don't know. Is it just me, or does it look like a mugshot? Let me know what you think. And then this is the latest photo released by the family. Oh, you know, you wish you could freeze them in time at that sort of age, don't you? You know, any of you who've got children out there that have since become either teenagers or young adults, you know that these times when they're round about, I think 8 is like a perfect age, isn't it? They've grown out of the terrible twos and, you know, all that, and they're not a baby. So, you know, you do have, you know, that you can talk to them, they love you. You know, I think when most children, when they're 8, 9 years old, even up to 10, 11, whenever the hormones kick in, that's the best stage, I think, for you as a parent, where you have the best relationship with them. You know, they love you the most. And then, of course, they become teenagers and it all goes wrong. You know, that's just the way it is. It's the same for everyone. You know, puberty is hard. It's hard to get through puberty for the child themselves, but also, I think, for parents, etc., because you do see a change in their personality as they're grappling with growing up. Growing up is hard, but that's when nothing seems... It all seems so difficult, and yeah, then they get involved with the wrong person or the wrong crowd, and you've got all that to contend with, and they don't care what you think, they only care what their friends think. You know nothing. And I was thinking that's it with David, isn't it? He, you know, even though he wasn't a teenager, he was 20, but he's at that age where you think you know everything. He thought he was cleverer than everybody else. When you get old, that's how you feel at that age, isn't it? You do feel a bit omnipotent, you know, because everything's black and white, isn't it? This is right, that's wrong. Everything your parents say is crap. Everything your friends say is true. You know, you don't listen. That's just a phase that you go through. And then, of course, as you get older, you realise you actually know nothing. Life is so grey. You know, it's not black and white. There's grey areas everywhere. You question every decision you make. So I don't wish I was young again, to be honest. Certainly not teenager young, because it is a horrible time for everyone, and I think it was for me as well. The only thing I miss about you being young is that sureness in your beliefs. You know, I mean, I've always been an opinionated person. You know, I have strong opinions about things. I hold up my hands to it. That's the way I am. And I'm still a bit like that, but everything's much more of a grey area now. Whereas I think when you're young, it's like, yes, that's right, that's wrong. And you are supreme in your belief that you are right, you know. Whereas I do think as you get older, it's like, you know, and you try and see all sides of everything. So if there's anything that I do miss about being young, it's just that complete certainty that you're right and everybody else is wrong. You know, it's quite sort of scary, really, isn't it? So I think that's it with David, because he's one of them, isn't he? Everything he does is right, and he's cleverer than the police. He's cleverer than Celeste. He's cleverer than Celeste's family. He's cleverer than his friends. He's cleverer than the music industry that is going to pay him all this money. He's just supreme in his cleverness. But not anymore, though. I mean, I think you can see in his face. I did think when I saw him on his court appearance, he looks like he's had a big shock. you know, because all that time it went before he was arrested, he must have thought, I'm going to get away with this. They can't pin it on me. Even though she'd been found in his car, in the car registered to him, and he'd made all these mistakes and ordered the bloody murder weapon on Amazon and the chainsaws and everything on Amazon. You know, did he really think the police wouldn't realise he'd ordered that? As I say, I've been brought up with Columbo, but even I know that if you order a chainsaw on Amazon, and don't forget, if you haven't got a garden, you know, or any reason that you would want a chainsaw for, people are going to look at it and say, why did you order this chainsaw just after Celeste Rivas was murdered? Did he really think they wouldn't notice? Because he called himself Victoria Mendez. So he thought, oh, nobody will know. Crazy. Anyway, so more prayers, please. We're praying 24 hours a day at the moment for these victims. But prayers for Celeste, bless her. And I just hope we get justice for